them.
Now, here's where we hit a wonderful point on a discussion within the last month. I thought it was beautiful, and it made all the sense in the world. Remember it? You and I were talking, and you said something to the effect, so eloquently, that spirit appears to the people as it was or is relevant to.
Right.
So
if they knew that.
Right. So if spirit is millions of years old, and throughout that time they've made visitations. That's a bad word. They have become non-spirit entities, or no, they've taken on, let's say, a human form as spirit, or some other form on another planet, or some other form, or some whatever it may be. When they are in the area physically and appear to us as they were to us, they will take on that form. They will take on a different form as somewhere else when they were with that, right?
Right.
Which means that who we are as spirit, which is more important than who we are as a human being, who our spirit is the connection or the time relevant to, and what did you say? Relevant to the connection or relevant to the relationship?
Right. That's here now.
Yeah.
That's why we get the 100-year, typically the 100-year relative. And that's what I want to call it, is the 100-year relative. Because our average life, the most we would live would be about 100 years.
Yes, and that is what I love about you, because I was trying to do the dynamics and figuring out why the hell are we always getting spirit 100 years from now on our SB7s and on our digital recorders. They're like right around turn of the century. And your theories kind of matched up with that, right?
Right. Because what they do is, if, for instance, myself, if I see relatives, I'm only going to live, let's say I live the maximum of 100, which is the longest time. Those people that I would have known would have passed on. And when I pass on, my children and my grandchildren, when I'm 100, they'll be, my age, and it so on and so on. So you keep getting recycled spirit, so to speak, of 100 years, because those are the people that you know. If somebody comes to you before that, or somebody from prior, that takes more work. It is done, but typically that's not who comes forward.
We can only recognize spirit through its relationship with someone.
Right.
That's what makes spirit. And I think that's what you said. And if you think about that statement for a few minutes and sit back, it made all the sense in the world to me. It's truly whatever relationship it took on at the time, so be it, what it was. And I liked what you said, too, when you said that spirit can handle all of these lives. I don't know how it does it. I know we all have spirit. But humanly, it's impossible. We have a difficult time with just one life that we're in now.
Right.
So, spirit comes and goes. Now, the other morning, I had taken a picture out in the backyard, and I think I shared this with you. And I'm seeing more of these things than ever. And they are appearing in the sky, if you go to YouTube, on a larger scale. And I want to talk about vortices, wormholes, and so forth. Most people who talk about vortices, like some of these groups around here, don't know what the fuck they are, or a wormhole. What a wormhole is, it's real simple. If you were imagining a piece of paper, and Debra, you're over there, okay, at City B, B as in boy, and I'm over here in city A. And in order for me to get to you, I have to draw a line all the way to B, and it takes an hour to get to you. So it's an hour. Or in the universe, it takes 100 light years or 1,000,000 light years. Doesn't really matter. But if you and I took that paper and folded it in half and made A and B connect and punch a hole through it, that would be a wormhole. Then I could instantaneously go from A to B without crossing all that space.
Right.
Wormholes exist. They've been proven. The risk is if you go into it, a human would immediately hit the event horizon and itself would not feel crushed. But to us witnessing it, it would look like it was getting crushed. Now, how that works, I don't know. But where that person goes after they pass the event horizon into the wormhole, it's probably not a good ending. Because light can't even come out of a black hole because the gravity is so strong.
Well, we don't know if that actually goes in a straight line, though, once on the other side.
We don't know where it goes.
No, and I kind of think that there might be something similar to a figure 8 with a twisted loop. If that makes any sense.
No, it doesn't.
There's something. It's wow. That's not thunder, people. That is my computer for no reason making a thunder sound. That it's been happening every once in a while, and I don't know why. Anyway.
Sounds like Satan, doesn't it?
I don't. All of a sudden, my computer makes thunder noises. I have been trying to figure it out, and I haven't figured it out yet. Anyway, once you get on the other side of the wormhole, you don't know, and none of us do, how it actually is. But if we suggest that one world covers our world in the same, different dimension, but everything is exactly the same, then we don't know what that wormhole does. It could go in a total loop and loop back around. There could be doors on the other side of it. There could be, we just don't know. It could branch off into, a billion different streams, to different places. That could be the vortexes we're seeing. Maybe they come through.
And that's what I was saying. We're seeing more of I had taken a picture in the backyard, and I usually do it about every quarter, for some stupid reason. Oh, look, it's getting darker. There's snow. And I usually do it when I get up and let the dog out. And I did it, and there was a beautiful vortex. I showed it to you. Just going by, can't see it with your naked eye. It has a hole on both ends of it. I was no glass in front of me because I opened the patio door. I don't want any glass in front of me. And there was no flash. And there it is, a beautiful, and I've caught these before in movie theaters. And I know for a fact I have seen them and have pictures of orbs looking like they go in and out of these, which suggests to me that maybe that's how they can go back quickly to another place. Let me put it this way, because I believe the orbs are soul. It's our spirit, and it's visiting maybe here. But maybe it goes to another place where it took on another, I like to call it personality or a human shape or whatever it may be, because those connections, as you said, Deb, make the spirit. So maybe it goes through that and knows exactly where it's going, wormholes to that other place.
Well, I think that it can, because I've had a lot of us who are healers have sent our energy or our spirit guides to other people, and our spirit guides are spirits, and they have gone from here to a whole nother state, or states and states away, and ended up in that person's life. So I know they can travel extremely fast, and they have to have a way to get there. It's not like they jump in a car and take off, and it takes them 3 days to get across country.
No, but I do think that spirit is energy and close to light. I do think it travels as close to the speed of light, if not the speed of light. So it probably wouldn't need that wormhole. But in the great master scheme of things, when you talk about our universe, it takes to get to the other side is 100 million zillion light years to get there. So that's where you need a porthole or a vortex. Because I think you said it could be true that I lived a life as spirit in some other form at some planet or some rock or whatever at the other side of the universe. Fair enough?
Yeah, I did one reading that was so cool because it was the first time that I encountered this type of thing. But the reason it was cool was because I was doing a reading and his son had committed suicide. And I said, you know what? He's showing me a totally different planet. And the planet that I was seeing was red and yellows and oranges, and it was nothing like here. And it had yellow rocks, and it had yellow water, and it had orange beach, and people were playing and were relaxed. And instantly, when I saw this vision, it was like everybody was just so chilled. It was just like a vacation spot. And it was funny because when I told him and I started talking about this, he's like, "Oh my God!" And I said, "What?" He said, "I've had a dream about me and my son who committed suicide. And when we were in the dream, I was talking to him, and that's where he took me. I walked up to him on a planet that looked exactly like you just described. And when I did a further reading on him, I found out that he also came from that other planet. Now, I don't know what the name of the planet is, but it was a vision. I described it to him to the T as to how he remembered with the 3 moons and the colors and the way you felt there and everything. And then we found out, too, before that, his son had written a letter saying that I don't belong here. This isn't my planet. I don't belong here. And he said that since he was little. And he ended up committing suicide.
Yeah, so, there are many people who make that choice don't quite get as eloquent to say that, but don't feel like they belong here. You know, it's like you have an affinity. I have an affinity because I lived in Europe, toward Western Europe, and maybe 1,500 years ago, I have an affinity toward that time and space. Now, when you went to see this other planet, now your son taking that spirit form, was he existent in that place at that time, and he's going to move on to somewhere else? Or the big question is, can spirit be at several places at one time, i.e. the Higgs boson, God's particle? Can it be in many, many places at one time? I just
know that he showed me where he was now, and that is the planet that he was on now.
But with the multiverse, a derivative or maybe a piece of our soul also, because everything is learning. I think we both agreed on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But in the multiverse, we're also learning, if I did not make this decision, I would maybe doing this. And the every day the decisions that we make throughout, there's billions of different ways things can turn out. And that's where these pieces of us, I think, go. And I don't know if they collectively come back together to learn or somehow they talk to each other. But it seems that the soul does not have its own individual what would I say? Personality.